IL-2 Sturmovik, Battle of Stalingrad, is next in the series of World War II combat flight simulators bearing the IL-2 Sturmovik name. Battle of Stalingrad is currently in early access either on Steam or through the official website. The game is expected to come out relatively soon, as the beta build I was provided is 75% complete. The newly formed 1C Game Studios with 777 Studios are cooperatively developing this next-generation flight simulator. And not next-gen as in being built for PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. No, this is the next generation of computer games. It is beyond beautiful, both still and in motion. The way it renders planes going through the clouds, or the way tracer fire lights up at night, or the way that the sun hits the glass of your cockpit is just a sight to behold. For the screenshot enthusiasts, simply pressing H will turn off the HUD to capture a shot or immerse yourself deeper into the game. Of course, that's not all to this. For 1C, it's not about emulating the experience from secondhand stories and hearsay. It's about getting in these planes. It's about speaking to the pilots. And it's using original blueprints to create the plane models all the way down to the rivets. The level of detail here is exquisite. It took me several hours of flying in non-combat zones just to get a handle on the flight model, even on the normal setting. And that's not a slight to the developers, there's just a lot going on. And it requires a bit of tinkering to set the controls the way you like and what feels natural for you. The realistic setting is astounding. You'll have to control the mixture of oil and fuel, setting engine throttle, and worry about getting your engine warmed up, by reading an actual oil temperature gauge before you even consider taking off. I even had to create a pre-flight checklist for myself just to get the order right so I could successfully take off without quickly becoming a flaming wreck or something a little bit more embarrassing, stalling. Once you're in the air with a BF-109 F4 or an IL-2 AM-38, it feels as majestic as every pilot will tell you, but it also feels fragile and horrifying. The creaking and the tinking of your plane is unnerving, but turning and maneuvering feels sturdy and like it is a part of you. And as you take bullet damage, holes rip through your wings and begin affecting your stability. Luckily, you can eject and parachute to safety should things get too hairy. Being that this is a World War II game and the focus is on Stalingrad, this massive 358 by 230 kilometer map is lauded as being the largest and most detailed recreation of the Battle of Stalingrad theater ever modeled in a flight simulation with unique structures, buildings, and landscapes. And I believe it. With the ability to speed up time to get to a certain objective, it takes an incredible amount of time, even at 16 times speed. The map is huge. While this shouldn't be a negative, it is a bit disappointing that every map is a snowy backdrop. And there's reasons why that is, but there are other locations, and since they all take place during the same time period, it's, snowing. It'll be interesting to see if the game ever bends the rules and allows you to play on summertime versions of these maps post-release. You can play on any of the maps with the quick mission mode, which allows you to create your own custom scenario filled with air and or ground units as you desire. Ground units fill with trains, trucks, artillery, and more. Once you click start, you're off to engage in dogfights or perform bombing runs as you desire. From this early taste of the campaign, there are only 3 missions, with one of them being on an easy variant of another. But they are really fun and involved levels that require a lot of skill, which is why I used the quick mission mode to fly solo and without opposition so that I could get a real good handle on things. It helps. There is multiplayer to this, even in the beta. You can engage in team battles and dogfights under the 2 difficulties, normal and expert. Expert being the aforementioned part where you must manage oil and throttles much more closely. Players don't all have to fly though, you can even assume the role of a gunner to provide covering fire for sneaky pilots who get up on your tail. You should absolutely play this game with a flight stick to get the full effect. However, you can use a keyboard and mouse for control, or even a gamepad like an Xbox 360 or DualShock 4 controller. But you don't need a $200 joystick either. 1C promises that even a $20 joystick will work. IL-2 Sturmovik Battle of Stalingrad is an impressive feat on every level. Everything from the historical accuracy to the handling to the gorgeous vistas, it is a game that has its heart in the right place. Casual players be warned, There aren't any in-game tutorials or anything to ease you in, other than something on YouTube, but that shouldn't scare you off either. It should excite you. I've put a link to the game in the description for those looking to grab it.